By June 2026, global oil prices spiked, and thousands of lives were lost. The closure of the Strait of Hormuz severed a massive energy artery, and after 110 days of direct conflict involving the US, Israel, and Iran, the world economy was buckling. Diplomatic movement finally arrived following mediation by Pakistan. President Donald Trump and Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian met at the Palace of Versailles to sign a temporary truce. The document, known as the Islamabad Memorandum of Understanding, contains 14 points designed to halt military operations on all fronts immediately. While global markets rallied on the news, the text of the agreement reveals a far more precarious situation than the initial headline suggested. The document functions as a highly conditional ledger of gives and gets, a temporary arrangement that defers the hardest diplomatic questions to a ticking clock. The first requirement of the ceasefire is spatial. Point 1 dictates that military operations must cease across all fronts in the Middle East. For Iran, that includes an immediate concession. They must rein in Hezbollah forces in Lebanon. Tehran also agreed to reopen the Strait of Hormuz to commercial traffic, allowing ships to pass without paying a toll for at least 60 days. In exchange, the United States agreed to remove its naval blockade on Iranian parts within a 30-day window. To provide immediate economic relief, Washington issued waivers allowing Iran to resume crude oil exports and petroleum transactions. These initial trades addressed the acute military and economic crisis, but they deferred the underlying geopolitical and nuclear disputes that sparked the war. To manage the remaining tensions, the memorandum establishes a framework of performance-based diplomacy. The primary U.S. demand requires Iran to take its 440-kilogram stockpile of highly enriched uranium and downblend it under the strict supervision of the International Atomic Energy Agency. Financial rewards are tied to this nuclear milestone. As the IAEA verifies compliance, the U.S. will incrementally release frozen assets. A $300 billion reconstruction fund is also outlined. The U.S. isn't contributing. It merely grants licenses so Gulf partners can invest without penalties. By structuring the deal this way, the negotiators replaced raw military force with a system of step-by-step economic leverage. That leverage is already being tested. Iranian officials announced that once the fee-free period expires, they will assert sovereignty and charge fees for services. There is also a major geopolitical wildcard missing from the text. Israel is not a party to this memorandum, and its leadership may not feel bound by an agreement that dictates the terms of a ceasefire in Lebanon. If Israel launches a preemptive strike across its northern border, or if Tehran taxes the strait, this fragile ledger of promises could collapse. Even with global celebrations and validation from the United Nations, the baseline reality of the conflict remains unchanged. Broad sanctions relief for Iran and a permanent framework to contain the country's nuclear program remain unresolved. Negotiators have 60 days to turn these 14 points into a binding UN Security Council resolution. The ultimate consequence is built directly into the text. If they fail to reach a final agreement before that window closes, either party can legally walk away. The signing at Versailles bought the world 60 days to construct a final deal before the threat of conflict returns.